all know these faces, right? From TV, movies, sports, household names. But what if I told you that behind the fame, some of these people had this whole other life involving military service?
Yeah, it's often a chapter people just don't know about.
Exactly. And it often shaped them in really big ways, sometimes before they were famous, sometimes right in the middle of it all. Today, we're taking a look at when famous people were soldiers. We've dug into some really interesting sources about celebrities, actors, sports icons who served, and how that service kind of connected or didn't with their public lives. So our mission today: unpack these stories, find the surprising bits, look at the journey from, service to stardom, or maybe even the other way around. Sometimes you might end up seeing these familiar faces a bit differently.
It's such a compelling area because you really get to see beyond the public image, don't you? You see this personal commitment, maybe even a sort of moral compass that sticks with them long after. It often fuels what they do later on.
Absolutely. Okay, let's jump right in with our first one. Tom Selleck. I mean, Magnum PI, Blue Bloods, total icon.
Classic TV presence.
Right. But before all that, he was actually an infantry soldier. He enlisted in the California Army National Guard. This was back during the Vietnam War era, 67 to 73.
National Guard.
Yeah, Company C, 1st Battalion, 160th Infantry. He even went to the California Military Academy, did 6 months of active duty there.
Right.
Now, Sergeant Selleck, he never actually deployed to Vietnam.
Okay.
But he became a pretty prominent spokesperson for the Guard and even the wider U.S. military.
Interesting. So using his profile even then.
Seems like it. And then, get this, about 7 years after his Guard time finished, that's when he lands Magnum PI.
Wow, okay, so the big break came later.
Yeah, and here's a fun bit of trivia. He apparently turned down playing Indiana Jones.
No way. Really?
Yeah, because of a scheduling conflict with Magnum. Can you imagine?
That's a choice.
Yeah.
Wow.
And his connection to the military didn't just stop. In 2002, the Army gave him an honorary officer's commission, and he got involved with the Vietnam Veterans Memorial Fund, really pushed for that educational center they wanted to build near the wall in D.C.
So that commitment really endured.
It really did. And of course, Blue Bloods ended up being his longest running show. It just wrapped up, December 2024 after 14 seasons.
Incredible run. His story really highlights how someone can leverage their public visibility for military causes long after their actual service. It's not just waving a flag, it's like real advocacy.
Yeah, a deep connection. Okay, so from the National Guard and Tom Selleck, let's switch gears to another TV giant, Pat Sajak. Wheel of Fortune, right, for decades.
Absolutely. An institution.
But before the wheel, he was a U.S. soldier in Vietnam.
Okay, now that's a shift.
Yeah, he served from 1968 to 1970. He actually trained initially as a finance clerk.
Finance, wow.
Right, but while he was stationed there, he ended up finding his voice literally as a radio host for Armed Forces Radio and Television.
AFRTS, that's amazing.
Yeah.
So he was broadcasting in Vietnam.
Yeah, quite the start.
And Sajak, he's been quite vocal about being proud of his service, identifying with the 6 million or so Vietnam vets. And more than that, he really became an advocate, didn't he? Pushing back against how Vietnam veterans were often treated or portrayed.
He absolutely did. He really wanted more respect shown, especially in media. There's this powerful quote from him on the American Veterans Center website. Let me see if I can get it right. He said something like, "When our troops returned home, many were greeted with insults, not cheers, portrayed as drug addicts, misfits, losers."
That rings true for many vets' experiences.
He goes on, "The reality is that the Vietnam veterans compiled an outstanding record of courage, service, and patriotism. They should be proud, and we should be proud of them."
That's a really strong statement and important for someone with his platform to make.
Definitely. After the Army, his path was a DJ in Nashville, then an LA weather reporter.
Weather reporter, okay.
Yeah. And then Merv Griffin spotted him, offered him Wheel of Fortune back in 81, hosted it all the way till 2024, and now he's sticking around as a consultant.
Quite the journey.
Okay, now let's talk about someone universally beloved, but whose contribution was different. Betty White.
Oh, Betty White, yes.
Golden Girls, Mary Tyler Moore Show, just a legend. Now, she didn't officially serve in the Army.
Right, that's an important distinction.
But she was incredibly active supporting soldiers during World War II. She joined the American Women's Voluntary Services, the AWVS, back in 1941. She was only 19.
And we have to remember the context here. At that time, Women just weren't allowed to formally enlist in the U.S. military branches like men were. So groups like the AWVS were absolutely crucial. They were the main way for women to directly contribute to the war effort on the home front.
Exactly. And her role wasn't just symbolic. She drove a supply and food truck out to military bases in California.
Wow, hands-on work.
Totally. And she performed for the troops, spent time at recreation centers, talking with soldiers, boosting morale.
That kind of support was invaluable.
And this was all before her massive career took off. After the war, well, you know the story, Mary Tyler Moore, Golden Girls from 85 to 92. She holds the record, right? Longest career for a female actress, over 90 years.
Unbelievable.
8 Emmys, a Grammy, SAG Awards, Comedy Awards. I mean, the list goes on. Even later, she was in The Proposal in 2009, hosted SNL in 2010, won an Emmy for it. Then Hot in Cleveland. She's kept going until she passed in 2021 at 99.
What a life. Her story really shows that service takes so many forms. It wasn't combat, but it was essential contribution.
Absolutely. Okay, so Betty White showed us home front support. What about someone already at the peak who paused everything? Let's talk sports. Joe DiMaggio, the Yankee Clipper.
Baseball royalty.
Right, and this is pretty striking.
Oh.
He took a break from his huge MLB career specifically to serve. He enlisted in the U.S. Army Air Forces in 1943.
Army Air Forces, okay, precursor to the Air Force.
Yeah. Now, like Selleck, he didn't see combat, but his role was vital for morale. He played baseball for military team.
Keeping the troops entertained, lifting spirits.
Exactly. He was on the 7th Army Air Force team in Hawaii. He also served as a physical education instructor.
And the sacrifice involved there. I mean, financially alone, he gave up, something like $43,750 a year from baseball, which was a fortune back then,
Yeah, a huge amount.
to earn the standard Army pay, which was maybe $50 a month.
Incredible, right? It really puts things in perspective.
It really does. It shows that sense of duty, transcended personal gain, even for massive stars.
He eventually got a medical discharge in September 45.
Okay.
And then, just like that, he was back playing for the Yankees in the 1946 season. Picked right back up.
Amazing. Joltin' Joe.
Okay, one more story, and this one flips the script entirely, bringing us much closer to today. Carly Schroeder. If you're maybe a millennial listener, you might know her from Disney Channel's Lizzie McGuire. She played Melina Bianco.
Oh, right. I remember that character.
Yeah, or maybe from General Hospital. She was a child actor, did movies like Gracie, too.
So, established acting career.
Definitely. But here's the twist. After all that acting fame, she decided to join the U.S. Army.
Wait, after. Not before.
Correct. In July 2019, she went through basic at Fort Jackson, then officer candidate school, earned her commission.
Wow. That's really different from the others. Yeah, her path is fascinating because it wasn't service before fame or alongside it during wartime like Betty White or DiMaggio. It was a deliberate choice to step away from an established career and pursue military service specifically as an officer.
Right. It really makes you think about motivation.
It really does. A very different kind of calling.
So as we kind of wrap this up, it's just amazing to see the sheer variety, isn't it? How people, famous or not, have contributed to the military. Front lines, morale boosting, home front support. These deep dives really show you sides of public figures you just wouldn't expect, that level of commitment.
Absolutely. And it underscores that service isn't monolithic. It's this whole spectrum of sacrifice, dedication, and how that shapes people. What these stories, I think, really tell us is that the link between military life and, the rest of society is maybe way more complex and varied than we usually think.
Well said. And it leaves us, and you listening, with a thought to chew on. Considering all these different ways people serve, what does it actually mean to be well-informed about public figures? Beyond just their main claim to fame, you really might be surprised what you find when you look a bit closer.